What's going on, guys? How you all doing? I'm all fired up because you know why? Because my man Joel Embiid just got announced tonight that he won the MVP. I feel like that was a very big weight that was lifted off my shoulders. I'm really proud of how the team handled how the team handled everything. I'm really proud of just what this team was able to do throughout this entire season, and it really just started off with Joel Embiid. This was just really such a historical night for him, and I just couldn't be any more happier for him. I saw the tears going down his face. I watched the whole entire video of what it was like for him to finally win the MVP, and he deserved it. I mean, like, the NBA finally got this right. They finally got it right. And I am just so happy with the way that he has continued to play throughout this entire season. This is just like one of those things where it really just fires me up. It really just gets me going. I was really fired up last night with the whole Boston game. Like, don't get me wrong, James Harden hits this big game winner and just like goes so crazy after he hits the game winner against Boston without Joel Embiid. You're down your biggest player, and yet you have the guts. You have the guts to go into Boston and take game one of the Eastern Conference semifinals. That's absolutely huge. Joel Embiid was just like on his feet last night. He was so happy for the team. And then James Harden comes in and he's like, yo, guys, like we got a couple more games. Like, we got to get back on into the locker room. I love how this team has been playing right now, and I just cannot get enough of them. They are just so much fun to watch. And with the way that everybody crowded around Embiid tonight, James Harden giving him a huge hug, right? Tobias Harris, Furkan Korkmaz, Shake Milton, all there congratulating him. So happy for him. The MVP chants that were in that locker room, that's awesome. And it makes me feel really good about this team. And I had to come on here. I had to congratulate him because he totally deserved this, okay? I don't understand why Nikola Jokic fans are actually still coming at me, and Giannis fans are still coming at me saying that, like, the only reason like why Embiid got it was because he led the league in points per game. No, it wasn't just that. If you actually watch these games, he wasn't only just leading the league in points per game, he actually was a much better passer this year. He knew how to pass out of the double teams. He just understood what he had to do with the ball every single time the ball touched his hands. Okay, and I'm literally in awe that they actually that he actually won the whole thing, because I still thought to myself, okay, like the NBA like writers are probably going to give it to a Nikola Jokic because analytics over anything. Nikola Jokic is like a Hall of Famer. You know, he leads the league in VORP and he leads the league in true shooting. Like all these things that I can't even see with my eyes right now. I still felt like that they were still going to go that route, and they didn't. And I think that they finally got it right this year, and this was just an incredible season by Joel Embiid. And Doc Rivers was right. He said the other day that he thought Embiid was going to win the MVP because of how much better of a passer he has become, and he was right about that. Every time I saw him in the Brooklyn series, have the entire kitchen sink thrown at him, right? Like they had 3 guys on him. They put, it was like the Matrix. Like he was fighting so many people. Had to literally give up the basketball. His unselfishness, I really do feel like, was the reason why he won the MVP this year. And it's not that I don't like Nikola Jokic. It's not that I don't like Giannis Antetokounmpo. When you just look at the overall best player in the league, a guy that can play dominant basketball on both sides of the floor, it's Joel Embiid, and it's not even close. Embiid's defense has been incredible throughout these last couple of seasons, and this year specifically, I really do believe that just from my eye test that he has been the best rim protector in the NBA, and if he really wants to, he can guard 1 through 5. So I'm literally still in awe with the whole thing. But what does this mean moving forward? I do not know. I don't know what this means moving forward. I do know that Embiid, if he's feeling 95% okay to play tomorrow, I would play him. Okay? You have Boston down in the series 1-0. I don't want to play games with Boston. Okay, you won game 1. That was huge. You go into Boston's house without your best player, and yet you still beat them. Well, and they're fully healthy, by the way. They were a fully healthy team, and yet you just beat them. James Harden turned back into Houston James Harden, and man, like, that was just so much fun to watch last night. I'm still like on the high about that, but with the whole Joel Embiid news, I'm kind of crying on the inside because I'm so happy for him that he finally got this. And you take a look at the whole story of him throughout his entire career. Okay, he picked up a basketball when he was 16 years old, or not when he was 16. Sorry, when he was 14 years old. And, he, watched the NBA Finals back in 2009, 2010, and, got interested in Kobe Bryant. That's how he fell in love with the game. You hear about, he's from Cameroon, and he played soccer for a little bit of time, and he comes over to the U.S. and, joins this basketball camp before he comes over to the U.S. from Luke Mbah Mute. Just the whole story of how he got into basketball and how he didn't even pick it up until an older age. He wasn't 3 years old doing this. The adversity that he had to deal with throughout his entire career, even just to get to the NBA, is just remarkable itself. The injuries, and just so many other factors. And I'm just really proud that he finally got what he deserved. At the same time, though, we still have bigger aspirations. We got to win the championship. We first got to get to the finals. And yet, we'll have to see what happens throughout the rest of this series going into before the NBA Eastern Conference Finals if they're able to take Boston. I still think that this is going to be a competitive series, but going back to my whole point about Joel Embiid, if he's 95% healthy tomorrow night and he's willing to go, which I don't really know if you can really say 95%, but if he's willing to go tomorrow night, I would literally just say play him. Because Boston's already down 1-0. You think that they're going to make adjustments? I want to just stomp on Boston. I don't want to give them I don't want to play with fire. That's not what I'm trying to do. If I have the advantage to, go for my opponent, if I have a chance to punch them, figuratively speaking, I want to go for the knockout. I don't want to just I'm not just going to go for the stomach. I'm not going to just go for the back area and continue to play with fire. If I'm going up against an opponent and I'm boxing somebody and they're a lot stronger than me, okay, I want to go for the knockout. That's how my mindset works. And that's where I'm at with things. But the whole reaction on Twitter of Sixers Nation right now, it's a lot of fun. And I am just beyond happy for Joel. I love how his teammates treated him tonight. And I think that it's so awesome that he had the support that he did. And with that, we're going to open this up to you guys. All right, if you guys want to join the chat, or if you want to join the Discord call and have yourselves come on here just to talk a little bit about Joel Embiid and what your thoughts are about him winning the MVP, feel free to come on here and we'll take some calls. So the Discord call is also linked down below in the description area. I'll also take a look at your comments as well. I want to get your thoughts on what you guys have to say about this whole thing, but I am just really happy. And coming into today, last night, I went to Wawa and I was so proud. I had to go out. I had to go do something. I had to get myself a little energy drink because I was really happy with how this team came together last night. James Harden led by example. He shined in the biggest moments, and yet the rest of the team fed off of that. Okay, Paul Reed and P.J. Tucker. How about P.J. Tucker getting in Paul Reed's face, saying, you got to go get those rebounds. You have to make sure that you're communicating on these sets. You didn't do your job. And how Paul Reed responded to that, he gives you 2 big offensive rebounds in that third quarter. Outstanding. Very incredible. All right, we're going to take some calls here. If you guys want to come on in, just join the Discord server. It's pinned down below. And, Let's see. We also have some chats on here as well. I want to talk to JJ over the Discord server. Let's hear from everybody. Yeah. So the other thing that I also kind of wanted to talk about as well is that with the way that Tobias Harris has been playing, I feel like he's been such a really big professional for the Sixers. And when Joel Embiid's not playing, like there's just this mentality that he has that I feel like he just goes off. Like he plays a lot better, and he understands that he has to take more shots. And when he was just crowding around Joel Embiid tonight, you know, and you saw the video of him crying when they were watching film and when the whole thing was announced. Tobias Harris is just such a really good human being. And I think that we, as a city, don't give him enough credit because we take a look at the contract for what it is. He's not a superstar, okay? He doesn't. I mean, that's all on ownership. But just as a human being and as just a player who's had to adapt to his role so many different times, I don't know what else to say. I think he's been an incredible addition. Seriously, I think he's been doing some really awesome things, and that makes me very, very happy. How did the Sixers respond, okay, when you heard the news about Joel Embiid winning the MVP? Does that give you any sort of, or does that change your thoughts on how this series and how the rest of the playoffs are going to play out just because he was announced and he won the MVP? I'm just throwing that out there because I know that for some people, they think to themselves, well, if we have the MVP on our team, we have just as good of a shot as anybody else, you know? And so some people never really thought of Joel Embiid winning that MVP and having that title attached to his name. But now that he does, for those of you that are out there that still say that, for those of you that are out there that literally just don't know like what to say about Joel Embiid winning the MVP. If he's the MVP now, if he has that title attached to his name, does that change your thoughts about the Sixers team and with how far that they can go? Just throwing that out there. I think that this team is really good. I love with how Doc Rivers has been coaching them. You know, even when Embiid's not out there, there's just a different sense of urgency, if you will, and there's more buttons that are being pressed. But you have to play Embiid if he's willing to go tomorrow, you got to play him. Because I would love to go into Game 3 when the Sixers come back to the Wells Fargo Center at home and just go up 2-0 before we come back home. Boston won't even split the series. They're going to have to win a couple of games at our house. And I would much rather have that than being tied 1-1. I'm not saying that the Sixers didn't do their job by winning Game 1 because they did. Just step on their throats. That's what I'm saying. We can't be playing around. But if Embiid is not, if Embiid's like, nah, like, you know, I really like want to rest like a couple of more days, fine. That's fine. He doesn't have to play tomorrow. Friday, though, I hope I see him back, and I hope that he's going to be available for Friday. Because if it's a 1-1 series, or even if they're up 2-0, I have friends that are going to the Wells Fargo Center, and I am just hoping that he is all right and that he doesn't, that he doesn't sit out unless he's really not feeling well. Because, you know, that's what my friends like paid to see, you know. So with that, I think that we're going to close up shop. But I really do appreciate you guys for coming on here. If you guys are new to my channel, don't ever forget to join the Discord server. It's linked down below. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell icon, too, so that way you know when I upload. This was just so last minute because, obviously, tonight he just won the MVP. And I'm just happy that he got what he deserved. And the NBA finally got this right. The writers got it right. And they watched these games. That's pretty much all that's left to be said. All right, thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll be on for the we'll be on for the Sixers game tomorrow night, but we got the Phillies and Dodgers tonight. We'll be doing that at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will catch you all on the next one.